Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Muhammad Amin. Today I am here to solve the integration in the sample paper of the Scaltech admission test. The integration from the lower limit 0 to upper limit infinity x power minus 1 by 2 natural log of x. Okay, I can write it in the form of 0 to infinity e power natural log of x power minus 1 by 2 natural log of x del x. Because the logarithmic function and the exponential function are the inverse of each other, and it gives us the same result as it is. So it now here the log property is used, the power property of the log is used. This is the exponent or power here, minus 1 by 2 natural log of x. According to the power property of the log, the power or the exponent comes in front of the power, in front of the log. So it's become e power minus 1 by 2 natural log of x into 1 natural log of x is there. So it's become natural log of x into del x. Okay, one natural log is this and the other is this. So it's become from 0 to infinity e power minus 1 by 2 natural log of x whole square del x. Okay, now we can substitute it into y is equal to the natural log of x. So del y becomes y is equal to the 1 divided by x of del x. From here, x is equal to the e power y. Okay, then it's become e power y del y is equal to the del x. The substituent here is y, and y is equal to the natural log of x. So the limits also may changes. So let's try either the limits are changes or not. From here, x is equal to the e power y. The lower limit here is lower limit is x is equal to the 0. So place x is equal to the 0. So it's become e power y. Then for what value of y it gives us 0? Yeah, for minus y, for y is equal to the minus infinity, it gives us 0. So the lower limit x 0 transform to minus infinity. Okay. Now what happens to the upper or the upper limit? Okay. Is same, it is x is equal to the e power y. The upper limit here is what? Upper limit is equal to the infinity. By placing infinity in place of x, it becomes e power y is equal to the infinity. For what value of y it gives us infinity? So for y is equal to the infinity, it gives us infinity. So the upper limit infinity remains as it is. Okay, now I can replace this one, the del x with this, and the limits with this, and y is equal to the natural log of x. So it looks like from the lower limits now is minus infinity, not 0, and the upper limit is infinity, e power minus 1 by 2 y square, and del x is equal to this thing, so it's become e power y of del y. Now the bases are same, then the power will be added. So it looks like from minus infinity to infinity, e power minus 1 by 2 y square minus 2y of del y. Okay, now can I write this in the form of complete square? Yeah, minus infinity to infinity, e power minus 1 by 2 y square minus 2y plus 1 minus 1 into del y. So now I can write it in the form of complete square by the formula of a square minus 2ab plus b square. So it looks like from minus infinity to infinity, e power minus 1 by 2 y minus 1 square minus 1 del y. Also I can write it's in the form of, okay, now I can write it's in the form of from minus infinity to infinity e power minus 1 by 2 y minus 1 whole square, and here e power 1 by 2 del y, because the minus 1 by 2 multiplies with minus 1 and it gives us a root of e, and this is the constants. It will come out from the integrand and it will become e and root into minus infinity to infinity e power minus 1 by 2 y minus 1 whole square del y. Okay, looks the integrand here is, we already solved it in my first video. Okay, in my first video I explained how I can write this integrand from minus infinity to infinity e power minus a x minus b whole square del y is equal to the pi by a under the root. Here a is equal to the 1 by 2, so it can be right as from minus infinity to infinity e power minus 1 by 2 x minus b whole square del y is equal to the pi divided by 1 by 2 and root, so it's become 2 pi under the root. So the whole this crazy one integral is equal to the 2 pi under the root. So by placing this we get e under the root into 2 pi under the root. So the integral from 0 to infinity x power minus 1 by 2 natural log of x del x become equal to the 2e pi under the root, and it's equal to the almost 4.13. This is the answer. Thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.